Hello everyone!
How are you folks? And welcome back to Home for Two. As Valentine's Day drawing near and everyone is so busy preparing extravaganza and so exceedingly complex gifts, plans for the day, sometimes it's easy to forget the main topic, which is basically the love. And for this, it doesn't have to be extravagant, it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be just simply shown by a very nice and delicious food items or sweets or desserts and so on and so forth. So for this purpose, we basically present you today with a simple recipe for Swiss rolls or Swiss roulette, which we start by separating 5 egg yolks from the egg white, and for this to have like a very nice texture, we will start by adding a couple of drops of nice fresh lime juice or fresh lemon juice. Couple of drops basically is more than enough. And the next step is we start to basically whisk with a normal mixer. And following a little bit of mixing, so as you see it become like it has a foamy texture. Then we have about 80 grams of normal white sugar, which we will add in a couple of steps. So I will add a little bit, and then we will whisk for 1-2 minutes. Now after about 1 to 2 minutes, I add a second part of the sugar, and we again start whisking for a couple of minutes. 2 minutes has passed. I will add the full amount of the sugar there, and now we will basically mix until all the egg yolks become like a fully foamed up, in a way that if you basically turn the containing dish around or a container, it will not fall off. Several minutes has passed, and as you can see, the egg yolk is fully foamed up, and as you can see, it's not gonna fall off. So when it's at this level of consistency, we are done. We are finished with the egg white part. Now we want to prepare basically the egg yolks. So we have here 5 egg yolks, which are mixed with 50 grams of sugar, and we will just simply whisk them with a normal hand mixer. And in the next step, I will add 1 gram of sugar, and 2 grams of vanilla sugar, and we will keep mixing until it has a bit of a yellow creamy color, which at that step we will start to add basically the oil, which we have for this basically recipe about 50 grams. So the whisking continues until we have a nice yellow creamy color. So it's around 2 to 3 minutes, and as you can see, it's very nice and creamy, so the color has started to change a little bit, and this is that we will basically add whatever oil we have, which is about 50 more grams, and continue to mix. And now I will start to add our flour, which is basically the normal bakery flour. So I will add almost half of our flour, and I will add also 1 gram of baking powder to our flour, the remaining powder of flour, and I will try to also mix this one. And I will add the rest of our flour to the mix. Our egg yolk part is also ready. In the next step, we have 20 grams of cacao powder, and we have 50 grams of milk. So in this step, we just simply mix the cocoa powder. Sorry, forgot how to speak English, so we mix cocoa powder with the milk, and just have it in mind that it's always better to have the milk sitting in the room temperature for a couple of minutes so it is warmed up a little bit, so then the cocoa powder will dissolve easier. So we will mix until it's fully uniform and there is no small basically shards of cocoa powder there, so it's nice and smooth. After about 2 minutes of mixing, we have a very smooth mix of milk and cocoa powder. And now this mixture will be added to our egg yolk part. And in the next step, we will start to slowly add our egg whites. However, have this always in mind that in order to have a very nice puffy rolls, we have to add the egg white part very slowly, and you have to mix them very gently. So the more gentle you are with the mixing, it's gonna be the puffier. So at this stage, we will mix this mixture together. So it's just normal mixture until you have a uniform and even mixture. Then we will start with the egg white part. In this stage, maybe around 1/4 or 1/3 of egg white will be added, and with a simple rotation, just try to gently mix the egg white with the other mixture. As mentioned before, be as gentle as possible. There is no race. We will do it very slowly and as gentle as possible to help keep our rolls very puffy. You see? With a nice gentle rolling movement, we just try to mix basically the egg white, the whipped egg white with our mixture. Or maybe you can lift it a little bit to also see, she's going toward the bottom of the dish and mixing very slowly. And at the end, following the initial mixing our two different compartments, now she's adding the mixed part to the remaining egg whites, and she will continue gently mixing together until you have a nice uniform viscous mixture, and then it will be ready to go to the oven. The mixture is nice and smooth, though, as you can see. As I mentioned, very gently, just very slowly mix all the compartments together until you have a uniform mixture. Then you have your baking tray, which we have also covered with a normal baking paper to avoid basically the attachment of the mixture to the tray. And now we will start to slowly pour the mixture into our tray. When it covers our tray and you have a rough thickness of around 10 millimeter or so, that should be enough. And in the meantime, I have also pre-warmed our oven to about 150 degree Celsius, and in the next step, the mixture will go to the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the thickness of the mixture and also how the oven functions. But we will show you at the end how it looks like. So when the baking is done, you will have a very nice brown surface. And during this step, you also spread basically the mixture to best of your ability. It doesn't have to be pinpoint, accurate, smooth surface. When you completely poured the mixture into your baking tray, just gently tap it down to the surface, so this will allow the air bubbles to free up. And as you can see, just very roughly surfaced here, and now it's gonna go into the oven for the next 25 to 30 minutes or so. Now we would like to also prepare our whipped cream. So we have 500 milliliter or 500 grams of heavy cream. This is, I think, around 32-33% fat. We have 20 to 25 grams of powdered sugar, and this can be also adjusted upon based on your taste. If you have a very big sweet tooth, then you will add naturally more. We have also 3 teaspoons of mascarpone, which we will add later, and we have also some food coloring. Since the theme for this Swiss roll or Swiss roulette is for the Valentine's Day, so we have some red food coloring here. We now start with the mixing. Whisking continued for about 5-6 minutes, and as you can see, it is nice and viscous. Please do not over whisk it, because you have running a high chance that you will curdle up your heavy cream. So Just as you see, it's nice and viscous. It has the right consistency, as you can see here. This is basically the right consistency, so do not overmix it. Now we will basically place this whipped cream in normal refrigerator for about 45 minutes to an hour to make it nice and firm, so that we can work easily with this whipped cream in the next step. The baking is done, and we have let the pastry to cool down for about half an hour. So during the cool down, cover both sides of the pastry with a baking paper to not let the pastry go too dry, but it should be nice and cool. In the next step, so as you see, we aim to spread a relatively thin layer of whipped cream on top of the pastry before rolling. So as you see, just spread the cream on the surface of the pastry. So again, it doesn't have to be so accurate, just make sure that it is relatively even. In the interest of time, we will do the rest of this step off camera, and then we will show you the results. It's nothing complicated, just have a thin layer of whipped cream of the pastry. Simple. Now the spreading is done. As you can see, we have just roughly spread the whipped cream, a relatively thin layer, about, I would say, maybe 5 millimeters or so on top of the pastry. And now we will start basically rolling the pastry. Don't worry, you are not gonna break the pastry. Just very carefully start rolling the pastry. So you can also help yourself by using the baking paper, and yeah, the rolling continues. And there we go. And then at the end you have a nice rolled, basically roulette. However, this is not done. Naturally, you need to basically dress it a little bit. This is barely naked and it's not allowed. So now you will basically try to dress it. So what we will basically do, we will use a little bit of whipped cream and as well as some strawberries to dress it. You can also use melted chocolate. You can use white whipped cream. You can use basically the wide variety of dressing. So use your imagination. There is no right or wrong answer. You can just mix and match and mix and with different forms of dressing. So there is no right and wrong. Just use your imaginations. We will finish the dressing and we will get back to you. The dressing is done, and following the dressing we have also let our roulette to be in the fridge for about 20 minutes, half an hour, to firm up a little bit the cream even more. So no worries when you see that your cream is not firm, just let it rest in the refrigerator and it should firm up within half an hour to an hour, so depending on how hot the environment which you are working in there is. And we basically using a couple more strawberries, we have made the dressing. As mentioned before, you can also use instead for example melted chocolate or chocolate crumbs, or for example with a bit of nuts, or there is no end for your imagination. You can dress however, you can dress it however you want. It's gonna be nice at the end. The dressing is also done. Now it's time for the tasting. So Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.